So you saw, how do you say? You say Cyrano.
I say Cyrano because I've always heard it was Cyrano de Bergerac, but the Americans tend to say Cyrano.
Oh
So
yeah,
what got your
Cyrano de Bergerac. Yeah, so Cyrano. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, you're right. But anyway, tell us about Cyrano de Bergerac. I'm just gonna say that because then I say I say it properly.
yeah?
Tell us about this film.
Is a musical version of the film, but set in a because we've seen they did Steve Martin did Roxanne, which is like a modern version of it, and
Yep.
then Gerard Depardieu did a
Yep.
French or
A French sort of classic version, sort of
classic version.
straightforward retelling of the original story.
Yes, so this again is like it's set in the period of time, slightly heightened because I think some of the dresses I was thinking, so like a heightened version of reality with musicals. It's a musical, so
Yeah.
expect it to be a bit out there. And so the story is basically Cyrano de Bergerac is normally he's always been cast as an unattractive man.
Yeah.
Famously, he's always had a very big nose,
Yeah.
and the nose that basically distorts his physical appearance. That's the first thing that you notice about him,
Yeah.
and because of that, it's made him slightly sharp, slightly um, I don't know,
He's got.
sarcastic.
Well, yeah. He's had to find other ways to sort of make
Yeah,
himself stand out, or to defend himself.
yeah. So he's not an easy man to get to know, but the object of his love is this sort of young woman, Roxanne.
Yeah.
But he doesn't believe that he does at one point. He believes that she could love him, but and then she basically falls head over heels in love with at first sight with this handsome young soldier in his company,
Yeah.
who is like the perfect male specimen. He's tall, he's handsome, he's athletic, he's perfect in every way physically.
Yeah.
And this film, the only difference is that Cyrano is played by Peter Dinklage, who,
Yes.
even though he's like a good-looking man, he's the characteristic you notice about him is that he's a dwarf,
Yeah.
and so it's his stature that you notice rather than his looks. Because I've always thought he's actually quite a good-looking man, so
Yeah.
you can say, oh, he's ugly because well, he's just not. But he has got a different build, so that is the thing that has sort of separated him from the sort of the usual crowd in this particular film.
Yeah.
And so in this film, the story is that because Christian, who's the object of her love, is basically inarticulate,
Yeah.
doesn't speak fluently, and he doesn't write fluently, and he doesn't really express himself with any sort of depth of or seemingly without any real depth of emotion to his words. Whereas Cyrano is a wordsmith. He
Yeah.
can conjure images with his words. He can create moods. He can draw pictures with his words that create this sort of feeling of the depth of his love that he feels for her. And so, because Christian cannot speak these words that he wants to express to woo this woman, Cyrano does it for him. He writes the letters, he gives him the speeches to say. He woos her.
Yeah.
But it's his own emotions, but he's just giving them to Christian to sort of win this fair maid's hand. And it's done through song and through dance and through expression. And then while all this is going on, there is a war being fought in their region, and they are both soldiers. And so, and there is a very wealthy duke who has his eye on the fair maid. And so there's like this sort of love quadrangle, really, because there's like three men after her.
Yeah. So,
And yes,
it's good because it's a bit of a classic story, and I think that it's one of those stories that you've seen elements of it show up in all sorts of different areas. I'm pretty sure that there's an episode of The Simpsons that sort of like riffs on
yeah,
Cyrano de Bergerac.
it's been
And
out there a long time.
yeah, it's been other for, and so it's kind of like whenever you get a new Shakespeare, the question is like you have the story and everything like that, but is there a reason to make this film now, and do the changes that they make work, and B, is it done well?
See, I have never really liked this story,
Okay.
and because it's the element of deception
Yeah.
that I have never been comfortable with that, because I'm thinking in a modern parlance, I'm not sure if I've got this right in the right context, but in modern parlance, is it called catfishing, where someone
Yes.
the photograph of someone else to then draw
Yes.
someone in? So
Yeah, that's a good point. Cyrano De
that
Begerac is just like old school catfishing.
Yeah. So that element I've never been comfortable with, even before with this modern phenomena of like, you get this strapping, handsome chap to send you like a friend request on Facebook when basically he really just wants to steal all your money. Whereas I
Yeah.
don't think there's no sort of inherent dishonesty in this, as in what they're trying to do. But part of me is like, it's just not right. That you're trying to deceive this woman into believing that these words are coming from this man when they're actually not.
Yeah.
And even though he says, "Oh yeah, I love her," but I just can't say it. It's like saying, "Well, are you being fair to any of you?" And I think that does come out in the film, which is what redeems it for me, is the fact that, without giving sort of spoilers, I mean, I think most people know how this story goes. The fact that they acknowledge that in the film, to me, was just like, I'm glad they've acknowledged that.
Oh, now I can enjoy this.
Deeply uncomfortable, thinking, well, you're just deceiving her. It's not right.
Yeah.
So I thought they redeemed itself in the way the storytelling was done. It was accomplished. It was enjoyable. The music, I thought there was a couple of really excellent songs. There was one song I was trying to think. I'm just going to look up. I've got the cast details here because I keep saying his name wrong. I know exactly who he is. Glenn Hansard. I keep wanting to call him Greg Hansard, but Glenn Hansard has a cameo in it where he's one of the soldiers and he has a song, and that basically was the best song in it.
All right.
But there was a few songs that I think if I heard them again, they would probably sort of go. But I found them a little bit forgettable. They had it's a modern musical. They're all going to be like very nice and very jolly, but you're going to forget them more or less as soon as they've moved on to the next song. You're going to forget about it.
Oh, so Glenn Hansard, he's the guy from Once.
Yeah, the guy from Once.
Oh yeah.
As soon as he started singing, I was like going, it's him. It's him. And I kept thinking, Greg? No, when he's singing, I'm thinking, what's his name? Is it Greg? And then it's Glenn Hansard. But yes, so that was the best song in the whole thing. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good version. It's a good musical. Again, I think the more you heard it, probably one of the songs become a bit more memorable, possibly. But there were no instant grabbers.
Yeah.
I thought, oh yeah, that's quite a nice tune. I don't think I'll be singing it on the way home.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I thought that about Encanto, and then We Don't Talk About Bruno happened. So.
Yeah, but I think when I was watching things like The Last Showman, The Greatest
Showman, yeah.
There's a couple of songs there I was humming as I was going home, thinking, that was a good song. So I think it can be done where there's sort of.
Well, the Greatest Showman, there was a song in the trailer that you were humming for ages.
Yeah, before it even came
before the film even got released. So.
Yeah. So I think they probably could have done with maybe some more punchy songs, but no, I thought they did it well. So for me, I enjoyed it, but I think basically it's probably still going to be a 3.
Okay.
I thought some highlights, it was well done, but for me, the context of it still, I'm just uncomfortable with the basic story, going back to the fundamentals of the story. I'm just like comfortable with that.
Yeah.
They did it very well. Peter Dinklage, I think he's just a class act, basically.
Yeah.
I first saw him in a film called The Station Agent.
Oh yeah.
A long time ago. I was the only person in the cinema when I went to see that. But since then I've thought, yes, you need to keep an eye on him. And then I've watched more or less when he's appeared in really random things.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do rate him anyway as a someone to watch.
You see,
Game of Thrones aside completely, don't even factor that in. His film work, he's just got some really interesting things he's done.
I agree. And the thing is, I fear that this film might go the way of The Station Agent for me, because The Station Agent is one of those films that I heard about when it was released. Everybody raved about his performance, and I was like, yeah, I've got to see that. Never seen it.
Never seen it.
And then Cyrano. Well, I'm confused now. But the thing is, the thing with this is that I feel like it's a film I want to see, but I think I'm not going to see it in the cinema. I don't think I'm going to be able to watch it in the cinema. And it's not until it gets onto and we'll see what happens then. But I do want to see this. I do want to see this. Oh, I think someone's trying to come in here and join the podcast.
Come and say hello. But I would say I'd give it 3. I'd give it 3 stars, but a solid, good, could go higher 3, but definitely a 3.
All right, cool. A 3.